With the Phoenix Suns being a massive disappointment this year, and it pretty much being confirmed that Kevin Durant will be traded from their team this coming offseason, all there is left to do is basically wait and speculate to see which team will win the Kevin Durant sweepstakes and which team will offer the most, or which team really wants him the most. So, buckle up for this video because we got a lot of information for you guys. And before we get started, make sure you guys like the video and subscribe. I ask this every single time, but it helps me so much. And now let's get into it. So if you're still not sold on the fact that Kevin Durant will be traded this offseason, here's a tweet from NBA Central saying the Suns are expected to work with Kevin Durant and his business partner Rich Kleeman, something like that, to find Durant's next landing spot. And this is per Shams Charania, the #1 top, Twitter media guy for sports news. So, if that doesn't convince you guys, then I don't know what will. But it seems as if the Suns are in a hurry to get rid of Kevin Durant and they want to work on a deal for him to get out of Phoenix immediately. And honestly, it makes sense because he's getting older. They don't want anything to come up. And, he had a pretty good season this last season. So, they're going to try to capitalize on whatever trade value he has because I feel like he still has a lot of trade value. I feel like teams would give up a lot for him. And per Brian Windhorst, who's a pretty top ESPN guy, he basically said that the Suns privately admitted that they made a mistake by not involving Kevin Durant earlier in the trade process at the trade deadline. And this is basically saying that they wanted to trade him right away at the trade deadline, but they basically didn't do it and they regret that. So, this honestly makes sense because he probably had more trade value back then than he does now because, the Suns kind of fell off a cliff after the trade deadline. Granted, they were never really good, but, the Suns as a whole were not good at all. They're worse actually after the trade deadline. So, if anything, Kevin Durant's value kind of went down from there. But this tweet is essentially saying how the Suns regret not trading him at the trade deadline. And honestly, it makes sense. I mean, they probably should have traded him at the trade deadline and they should have just started their rebuild right away. But that's all in the past. You can't really change that now. But if anything, this tweet is basically confirming that Kevin Durant will be traded this coming offseason and that the front office is basically just saying that, he's going to get traded for sure. And now onto the team where I think he's going to go to. And I mean, it's in the title. It's the Houston Rockets. And we have some tweet and some evidence to back that up. But before we get into it, let's just talk about the fit for him in Houston right away. Because you got to just think what comes to mind immediately when it comes to Kevin Durant fitting with the Rockets. I mean, they're the 2 seed right now. They just beat my Warriors as I'm recording the video. I'm pretty upset about it, to be honest. Jimmy Butler got hurt, so prayers up for him. Hopefully, he has a speedy recovery and he comes back soon. But regardless of that, whatever's happening now, Kevin Durant would actually fit really well with the Rockets because, their leading scorer is Jalen Green. He's a good player, but he's not really an all-star player yet. Maybe he's a borderline, in my opinion. He's kind of a borderline all-star, but he's not really that superstar player that can get you a bucket at any time because in game 1, we saw Jalen Green kind of struggle, and Kevin Durant's not going to really have those struggle games. So Kevin Durant on the Rockets would be the guy who they can go to in the clutch time to get a bucket. And just based off the eye test, I don't really know exactly about the stats towards this, but the Rockets have a pretty bad half-court offense, in my opinion. I mean, they just basically try to run to the rim, get a shot up, and just get the rebound and try to get it put back. That's basically their whole offense. They like to drive. They don't normally hit shots. I mean, in game 2 that I just watched, they did hit a lot of shots, but that's not, normal for the Rockets to hit a bunch of shots. They're kind of a team that just strives off offensive rebounds from Sengun and Steven Adams and other guys to try to score. They score that way. So, Kevin Durant joining that team could help them a lot fix that problem. I mean, he's a guy who can score efficiently at all 3 levels. And I feel like, even at his old age, he would help that team a lot. And here's the original tweet from Legion Hoops basically saying that the Rockets and Kevin Durant have a level of mutual interest in working together. And this is per Sham, so it's legit. And honestly, when I saw this tweet, I thought about it long and hard and I realized, honestly, the Rockets are the best case scenario for Kevin Durant and the best case scenario for the Rockets. It just seems like a match made in heaven. I don't know, man. I just really love this fit for both sides. And when talking about trade assets for Kevin Durant, honestly, I think this is the last worry we need to have because the Rockets have all the assets in the world. As a tweet from Evan Siddery says, I don't really know how to say his name, but the quote goes, or the tweet basically goes, there has been a level of mutual interest between the Rockets and Kevin Durant. We know this already. And his context actually is the more interesting part, as it says, if Houston is eliminated early in the playoffs, they figure to become a top trade destination for Kevin Durant. And he also mentions how the Suns' unprotected picks from 2025, 2027, and 2029 are all owned by Houston. And this honestly just adds more layers of evidence to why, the Rockets are going to trade for Kevin Durant because the Suns can trade for their first-round picks back and, they could probably get a guy like Reed Shepherd, Cam Whitmore, one of those guys in return, and probably more of those guys, to be honest, a couple of them for Kevin Durant. So, honestly, it just seems like a perfect scenario. And just off the top of my head, we got to think those 3 first-round picks, Cam Whitmore, maybe Reed Shepherd as well, maybe a Jayshawn Tate, someone like that, Maybe if the Suns want a better player, you can get like a Jabari Smith. Maybe, I don't know if that's a reach. Maybe you can get a Jabari Smith or a Tari Eason, one of those two guys who really knows exactly what the Rockets are willing to give up. But I mean, it's going to include some of those young guys because the Rockets have a lot of them, man. And maybe even an extra first-round pick, but those 3 Suns ones are probably going to be thrown in there for sure. And honestly, the trade package just looks pretty good. I mean, the Rockets have all the perfect assets to trade for a star, and honestly, why not trade for Kevin Durant? But at the end of the day, it comes down to whether the Rockets want to trade for Kevin Durant and if Kevin Durant wants to live and play for Houston. I mean, the Rockets could honestly choose a lot of stars to try to trade for. There's a lot of guys in the open market coming this offseason. So, the Rockets have a lot of guys to choose from, and Kevin Durant has a lot of teams to choose from in where he wants to go. So we don't know exactly what Kevin Durant and the Houston Rockets full-on thought process is, but we just know there's a level of interest, a level of mutual interest there. So it's kind of just good to know. And honestly, if you ask me personally, I think the Rockets are the best team for Kevin Durant. But yeah, man, let me know in the comments where you guys think Kevin Durant will go. There's a lot of teams that he can go to, and I actually have made a lot of videos on Kevin Durant, and they basically all pretty much include a different team. So, I don't really know exactly where he will go out of those teams, but, it's probably going to be one of them. The chances are I get one of them right. So, I don't know, man. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think about this Houston Rockets idea. Let me know if you guys think if him going to the Rockets is an actual good idea. I don't really know. But yeah, make sure to also like the video, subscribe to those things, and yeah, we out.